Hello, this is a tutorial on a infographics app called Venngage. This is the website, venngage.com. And Venngage is another one of the infographics apps that allows you to do digital storytelling. You can clarify thinking, classify ideas. It allows you to demonstrate some reflective judgment, which is one of those affective learning components. You can highlight similarities and differences, so things like compare and contrast. And this shows a deeper understanding that goes beyond the surface level on the part of the student. And you can also form generalizations based on categorized items. This can be used by faculty or students, and it is free. The base version is free. They do have a premium version. I think it's a little bit pricey. It's $19 a month, and then there's also a business or an organizational pricing model, which is even more than that. But I have found plenty of things that I can do with the free model. In order to sign up, you'll go to venngage.com and you'll get the sign-in screen. So you can use an email and password to sign in, or like a lot of these apps, you can sign in with your Facebook or your Google+. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've already signed in. Now, compared to some infographics programs, I think this has quite a bit of power. So because of that, I'm only going to show you the basics to get you started. At some point down the road, if there's enough interest, I might do more of an intermediate to show you some of the other powerful features that you can get even with the free model. But again, this is just going to be a basic just to get you started. And the nice thing about this is there are only 5 steps in order to make this happen. Now, I do want to show you this particular screen, your stage here. If you had other Venngage infographics already created, they would show up here as icons. Now you can see that you have 0 of 5 infographics in this area. What that means is that the free version of this software will only allow you to have 5 that are stored on the site at the same time, up to 5. Once you get to 5, you'll get a bunch of alerts about them wanting you to upgrade to the premium version. Again, $19 a month, quite expensive. But there are ways, and I'll show you when we get into the application, where you can actually, once you create them, get them out of this app and save them somewhere. You can save them in the cloud or save them on your machine, delete them off of this site, and that frees up one of your 5 spots. So as you would imagine, we have this green circle here with a plus sign in it, and this allows you to tell your first story, or in other words, create your first infographic. So if I click on that, I'm going to get my choices. Now, just going to give you a little view of the screen here. We can make infographics, which is what we're going to focus on today. And there's many different types of infographics, depending on what information you are trying to share with your audience. There are also reports. So depending on the course and what you're doing, if you're doing something with marketing, there could be some help with something like the templates that they have here for the sales and marketing. There's some project management, education, so forth, surveys. There's posters, promotions, and then a social media. So if you wanted to like mock up what a Facebook page would look like, or a Twitter page or something like that, you would have the ability to do that. So we're going to primarily focus on infographics, but again, you have all these different types of infographics that you can create. Below, they have some starters, what they call templates, and you'll notice that as you hover over them, you can preview it if you want to see what it would look like in kind of a full-size image. If this is something that you want to work with, you can just hit create and you get started. Notice this one's marked as a beginner. There are some that are more advanced. You'll also find every now and then you'll get across one that you like, but it's the premium. What that means is in order to actually use this, you have to upgrade from the free account. You also have the ability to start from scratch and use a blank canvas and build one from scratch. It would just have essentially iframe areas, little boxes where you would go and put in whatever it was that you needed. So let's talk about some of the things built in to this particular tool. Again, there are only 5 steps. We're going to add text or modify text that's in a template. We're going to deal with icons. We're going to edit, modify, add, move icons. We're going to also look at including charts. We're going to adjust backgrounds. And then finally, we're going to preview, publish, and share. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go over here to the side, this planning ahead. And I can preview it if I want to see what it looks like a little larger to see if this will fit my needs. And let's say I decide that this will fit my needs. I can then come up to this little button, hit create, and I now have access to my screen. I do get, the first time I use it, I do get a feature here that allows me to take a quick tutorial. I'm not going to do that, but you can use that to kind of help you get started. But I just want to point out that you do have some toolbars along the top, and it's nice that as you hover your mouse, you can figure out what everything is. Also, pay attention to this last saved item. This will auto-save for you. It's always good to see before you leave the site that it has saved the last thing that you've done. Notice that there is no save button anywhere. You have the I, which is your publish. This is your share icon, download icon, and then you have settings. These are typical images that you will get. Eyeballs also is preview once you have something set up. These are all the things here on the left toolbar are the things that you can add, edit, modify to your infographic. You also have the ability to blow some things up or shrink things from a size perspective. So let's go ahead and get started. So any place in here, depending on what I want to do, notice that if I take my mouse and I hover it over a particular area, I get these little outline boxes. I get certain things where, so here we have a box that's outlined this area. This allows me to do things in that particular area. So I'm kind of in an edit mode now where I have the ability, I've clicked once and I have some color choice options where I can pick some different colors if that's what I want to do. I can also work on the opacity. So that is something that I can play with. I'm going to go up and click in the box here and get rid of that text and add my own text. And then just like you can with a lot of other types of editors, I can move things around. I can center things. I can change the size of the font. I can change the type of font. I can also go over to the text toolbar area here, and I can, I can change the type of font based on this rather than going through what I did and adjusting the fonts up here. So let's say I'm good there. I can work on the box. Let's work on an image here. Maybe I want to get rid of this image, and I'm going to get rid of the text, and I'm going to go into icons here. And maybe I'm going to look for some academic business ones. That's a preview for that's an upgraded one, so they're not going to let me do that one. Let's see, which one do I want to pick? So I'm going to grab this one here, and I'm just going to click and drag and release it. Now I have size handles, so if I'd like to make it a little larger, I can do that. I can also adjust the color. I have options here. Notice this is color 1, that's the color of the image, and color 2. I can add that to an area of colors that I'm going to use a lot in this particular infographic. So I've done what I needed to do there. I can click back on the hamburger, the 3 horizontal lines, and get my toolbar back. I have other types of things that I can add. I can do an image search. And I can find that I do have some free versions that I can actually bring in. And again, notice the size is larger than I need, so I have drag handles that I can create whatever size that I would like it to be. And again, either close out the images, or I can go here and get back to everything that I need. I have the ability to add charts, depending on the type of chart that I want. And then I have the ability to actually, again, not only the sizing, but I can use charts, create charts based on Excel spreadsheet data, so that it'll plot my numbers where I need them to be. So if I double click on my graph here, or my chart, I get access to the table, the Excel spreadsheet table, where I can change data. And notice that it changes my line. Okay. So I want to get out of charts. I can play with my background. And you can see just by grabbing the color picker and moving it around, I can come up with a color that is more appropriate to what I want to do. I can also adjust opacity, in other words, make it transparent. Okay. So I get that where I need it. Okay, I'm going to go back to the text area and bring in a text box. Again, I can move this where I need to move it. I can double click in here and I can change the text to what I want. And make it a bit bigger. Hit my drag handles. I don't like that one. I put that right across the line, so it's not dragging as easy. So I can just get rid of that piece completely. Do a couple of undos. And one more, and one more. And then it's gone. Do a better job of getting that someplace else. There we go. And again, I can get rid of it. Add what I need. Again, adjust my drag handles. I can play with colors of text, all kinds of things there. Icons, pictograms. Okay. Again, if that's something I don't like, maybe I'm going to create something and do a little work where I maybe talk about the social media aspect of our marketing campaign. Well, I can get a Twitter logo, I can get a Facebook logo, the YouTube logo, LinkedIn, Google+, whatever it is that I might want to use from that perspective. Again, you got to play with it. There's a lot of tools here. I could add images. I can upload things right into here. I can create links and so forth. So this is one of those deals where you're just going to have to play with it a little bit and figure out what you want, what you need. Notice it has saved again at 7:29. It's actually 7:30, so it's saving along the way. So I can publish this item if this is what I want. And if I hit the little drop down arrow, I have a preview so I can see what it looks like full size first, if that's what I want. And so I can just get rid of that and go back to the spot. So I have my ability to publish it if that's what I want to do. Once it's published, I can share it. And so I have some options where I can share privately or share publicly. And what I'll do at that particular point is I'll get an option to have like an email address or something like that. And then also, this is probably the easiest if you want to just keep track of the 5 or less that you can have in here, is actually get it done, get it built, and then you can download it as PDF, PNG file, then it just becomes an image. We're not going to be able to do this interactive PDF. Oh, looks like I can't even export it unless I upgrade to premium. Yeah, because these things are all grayed out. Yeah, so I'm just going to have to share it with myself then, and then I'll have the ability to do what I need to do at that point. Settings, don't have a lot of choices here. I can just adjust things like the height and width and that type of deal. But if I've created something that works real well for me, and I think I may want to go back, maybe it's a monthly newsletter, and I want to update it so I have the background color just the way I need it, I can actually save this as a template and then go back in and use it often as something that I'm going to repeat. So that's additional option for you and what you might want to do with this tool. So again, it's called Venngage. It's free for up to 5 infographic images. A lot of power to it, probably more power than most of the other ones that I've done tutorials on. So sometimes that means it's a little bit complex. Again, you can see all the different things that you can add, very similar to what's in other infographic tools, but definitely something worth checking out.